So I'm a bit concerned about anti-Semitism in the YouTube community. I mean, obviously, the YouTube community is one that has had a lot of problems, and personally, I cannot stand the fact that so much anti-Semitic activity goes on that goes completely unpunished. And what's really prompting this is an interaction I had with YouTuber Unique Namasaurus, who recently made a video essentially explaining why he feels that YouTuber Pewdiepie is underrated given the quality of his videos and so on. I will say that it's a well-justified video and would be an interesting watch. However, after watching the video, I was slightly concerned that he completely failed to mention a lot of the controversy surrounding PewDiePie's pretty obviously, at least racially insensitive comments and behaviors. And I said as much in the comments, I said, hey, I think you've made a pretty good video, but I'm still perturbed by some of the actions that PewDiePie did. Now, I don't expect, PewDiePie, as popular as he was, to be torn down, but he basically got off scot-free, and I blame people like Unique Namasaurus for that, because his response, quite frankly, disgusted me. His response was to say that I was in the wrong because it was rude to poor people, because obviously what I was bringing up was PewDiePie paying poor people, I think, $5 to hold up signs that said "Death to all Jews," which is, if you can't see what's wrong with that, you have issues. And apparently, according to Unique Namasaurus, let me quote him, "I'm pretty sure if I was poor, I'd be infuriated by someone telling me I can't earn money because the way I was doing it was offensive." I'm sorry. PewDiePie, who is very wealthy, paid people $5 to hold up signs that said "Death to all Jews." That goes beyond offensive. That's not funny anymore. That's not a joke. If you can't see what's wrong with that, what the fuck is wrong with you? And to try and justify that kind of action by some sort of appeal to poverty. No, that is exploiting poor people who don't know what they're doing to make a quote-unquote joke that is completely repugnant. And to defend that kind of action, I think, is really detestable. Because, I'm just nobody. I can't do anything about people like PewDiePie, but I can at least communicate the unacceptable behavior of some people when it comes to defending PewDiePie and other people like that. Because the amount of people who are just so quick to dismiss anything else, and he says this as well, that, it didn't lead to anyone getting directly harmed. I'm sorry, but if you think that's okay, I don't know what's wrong with you. You really want to live in a society where people can say "death to all insert group here"? Especially when the amount of hate crimes, especially against Jewish people, has increased massively in the last few years. I think anyone who is okay with that kind of society has to be at least a little bit anti-Semitic or racist or whatever. Because there's no way you allow that kind of thing to happen and all at the same time claim to be opposed to hate. Now, speaking from my perspective as a trans person, because I'm not Jewish, although I do have quite a few friends who are, and when I spoke to them about Unique Name of Source's comments, they were obviously quite upset. But it's the permissiveness, the allowance of people to say awful, awful things like that, that goes a long way into normalizing this kind of behavior and normalizing this kind of hatred, which ultimately does lead to seriously violent actions against those groups. I mean, you know, people say that, oh, it's just words, oh, it doesn't hurt anyone. Well, it hurts a lot more when those actions actually do happen. And when you say, oh, it's just a joke, completely and willingly unaware of the fact that things like that actually happen, that, even if you quote unquote, oh, I don't mean it, well, there are definitely people that do, and there are people who take actions that reflect the fact that they mean it. So if you have the luxury to joke about something like that, and just not give a damn about the people that it affects, I really have an issue with that. Now, my intention is not to, bash this growing YouTuber in the sort of anime analysis community. I'm not out there to make enemies. But if someone is going to defend anti-Semitism, then I have to treat them as complicit in this whole thing. And I don't think anyone should ever tolerate that kind of behavior. And if you do, you're part of the problem. That's just kind of my thoughts on this situation. Honestly, I used to kind of like Unique Name of Source's videos. I thought they were interesting and provocative in their own way, but given these comments, I'll have a picture on for the video, I think. I really can't watch them in good conscience, and, if you do too, I kind of have to question, all of you, because to not punish this kind of behavior is completely unacceptable, in my opinion. Anyway, thank you for listening. I hope this video was at least a little informative. If you have any problems with it, just tell me in the comments, and, yeah, thank you very much.